Hey everyone, and welcome to February's book birthday party. Book Birthday Party is a new feature that I decided I would put on the channel every month, celebrating all of the book releases in that month. The first episode was January, so I will link the playlist down below just so that you can check January's out if you're interested. But there are a heck of a lot of books being published in February, so I am not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to get straight into the list. So like last month, I am going to break this down into the date that the books are released. There's not really any order other than that, because some of them I'm not sure whether they're young adult thrillers or adult thrillers. Some of them I'm not sure if they are thrillers. You'll see what I mean. There is a lot going on this month. So without further ado, let's go on with it. So on the 2nd of February, we have The Project by Courtney Summers, which is one of my most anticipated 2021 releases. What Big Teeth, which is Rose Sarsbow's debut novel. Much Ado About You by Samantha Young. Muse by Brittany Cavallero, which is the first book in a duology. The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah, which is a historical novel about the Great Depression. This Golden Flame by Emily Victoria. Liberté by Gita Trillise, which is the sequel to Enchanté. Yesterday's History by Kosovo Jackson. As you'll see by the cover, this just really reminds me of Iron Man. Like, I don't know if anybody else is getting Iron Man vibes from this, but with like the core in his chest. As soon as I saw this, I was like, ooh, Iron Man. So I'm very interested in finding out what this one's actually about. Fat Chance Charlie Vega, which is Crystal Maldonado's debut novel. All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace, which is the sequel to All the Stars and Teeth. Of Wicked Blood by Olivia Wildenstein and Katie Hayes. This is the first book in the Quatrefoil Chronicles series. A Taste for Love by Jennifer Yen. All I know about this one is that it was on Jessie the Reader's most anticipated releases for 2021, and I will link that down in the description because he's just obsessed with boba tea and the fact they're holding boba tea on the cover, and that's all that is in my head when I see this now. Also publishing on the 2nd of February is The Obsession by Jessie K. Sutanto. This is the first book in a new series. We also have Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson and Talking to Alaska by Anna Waltz. Then we have the 4th of February. So the first 4 books that I'm going to mention are all being released by Stripes or Little Tiger because I'm on their mailing list and I've had all of these emailed through to me from them. So we're starting off with 44 Tiny Acrobats by Sylvia Bishop and Ashley King, which is the sequel to 44 Tiny Secrets. Then we have Jasper and Scruff Take a Bow by Nicola Colton. This is the 3rd book in the Jasper and Scruff series. We also have Rollo's Story by Blake Morgan, My Robot's Gone Wild by Dave Cousins and Catalina Echeverri, and this is the 4th book in the Robots series. The next book, not a Stripes release, but still a very exciting middle grade novel, is A Tangle of Spells by Michelle Harrison. This is the 3rd book in the Widdowson Sisters series of tales. I think it is just called the A Pinch of Magic series, but these were some standout middle grades that I read last year, and I'm looking forward to reading the 3rd one as soon as it comes out, as soon as it arrives. Like, I've got it pre-ordered, I just need it to get here. We also have Vice Spy by Maz Evans. This is the first book in a new series by Maz Evans, who also wrote Who Let the Gods Out. That, again, one of my favourite middle grade series of all time, so I'll definitely be getting hold of Vice Spy as soon as I can. Another middle grade is Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow by Benjamin Dean. As far as I'm aware, this is a debut novel, but this is also an LGBTQ+ read. So definitely one that I'm looking forward to getting my hands on. We then have a few books that I actually found through Sophie Anderson's Twitter. She did a thread of all of the books that she was looking forward to in February. So I will be linking that down below as well if she is somebody that you would like to check out. She is the author of The House with Chicken Legs, so she's a very good middle grade author. And she has recommended Proud of Me by Sarah Hager Holt, The Shark Caller by Zelia Bethel, The Ocean Squid Explorers Club by Alex Bell, which is the 4th book in the Polar Bear Explorers Club series, Murder of the Safari Star by M.G. Leonard and Sam Sedgman, and this is the 3rd and final book in the Train Adventures series, Swordswoman by Davila Rangachari, Waterworld by Ben Rothery, a new version of Animal Farm by George Orwell, which has been specially illustrated by Chris Mould, whose illustrations are just so distinctive, and as soon as you see them you know they're his, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with this story. And Space Detectives by Mark Powers. So a huge thank you to Sophie Anderson for deciding to shine a light on those releases that she was looking forward to. I'm glad that I spotted them because I'd actually missed all of them off of my list, despite the fact that I'd been making this list for like 3 hours at that point. We then have a young adult novel being published on February the 4th, which is Lock the Doors by Vincent Ralph. This is Vincent Ralph's 2nd novel, and it's actually on my January TBR, so I'm hoping that I manage to get to it before the end of the month because I've kindly been accepted a copy of this one on NetGalley. We then have 3 adult debuts, the first being Open Water by Caleb Azuma, And then last one at the party by Bethany Clift. And last but not least, Black Widows by Kate Quinn. Moving on to the 7th of February, we have another debut, and that is One Carefree Day by Whitney Amazine. And then we're on to the 9th of February, which I can start off with a book that I actually have physically, which is The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna. And this was kindly sent in a fairy loot box in 2020, and they had advanced copies of it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's like gilded, and it's got the blue sprayed pages. I still haven't had a chance to pick it up, but I'm looking forward to getting to this one sooner rather than later. And as far as I'm aware, this is also Nima Forma's debut as well, and this is also the first book in the Deathless series. Sticking with the 9th of February, we have A Faux Love Story by Luann Lee. This is another debut. We have The Iron Raven by Julie Cagwell, which is the first book in a spin-off series that accompanies the Iron Fae series. I'm not quite sure how this world works. I think there's like an original series and then there's another series, and this is going to be another one on top. But still, if you love Julie Cagwell's writing, definitely one to be picking up. We have Hot British Boyfriend by Christy Boyce, which is another debut novel. And one more debut novel being published on the 9th of February is Amelia Unabridged by Ashley Schumacher. We then have Game Changer by Neil Schusterman, which was another one of my most anticipated releases for 2021. I've already actually reviewed this one, so I'll link that down in the description if you are interested. But I didn't love it as much as I wanted to, but we can't say that because it's its birthday party. So I'm still glad that it is out there for other people to read and see what they think. We then have David Arnold's 4th novel, The Electric Kingdom. Phil Stamper's 2nd novel, As Far As You'll Take Me. We Are the Ashes, We Are the Fire by Joy McCullough, which just reminds me so much of the cover for We Were the Restless Things, which came out last year by Cole Nagamatsu. We then have Curse of the Divine by Kim Schmeichel, which is the sequel to Ink in the Blood. Stormbreak by Natalie C. Parker, which is the 3rd book in the Seafire series. Ancestor Approved by Cynthia Letitia Smith. And The Paris Library by Jeanette Siskilian Charles. We only have 2 books being published on the 11th of February, and those are Bad Habits by Flynn Meaney and Beneath the Keep by Erica Johansson, which is the prequel to the Queen of the Tearling series, which I didn't love by the end, but I'm still going to read the prequel because I'm a glutton for punishment. On the 16th of February, we have probably one of the most anticipated novels of this year, which is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas, which is the 4th book in the A Court of series. So there's A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings of Ruin, but then there's a short story which is A Court of Frost and Starlight, and I don't know if that counts as book 4 and then this is book 5, or if that is book 3.5 and this is book 4. But either way, more Sarah J. Maas, more Fae adventures. We then have The Wide Starlight by Nicole L'Esperance. This is Nicole Esperance's YA debut. She actually released her middle grade debut in January and I missed it. So a late birthday to The Nightmare Thief, which was released on the 12th of January. We then have The Echo Wife by Sarah Gailey. We Are the Fire, which is Sam Taylor's debut novel, and another debut, which is Of Silver and Shadow by Jennifer Grunke. On the 18th of February, we have Reaper of Souls by Rena Barron, which is the sequel to Kingdom of Souls. The Last Bear by Hannah Gold, which is another debut novel and looks just so adorable and already seems to be getting so much hype and is already appearing on like Amazon charts and things, so it's definitely one I'm going to be getting my hands on very soon. What's the Tea by Juno Dawson, which is a non-fiction book about transgender everything as far as I'm aware. It was pushed back. It was meant to be published in 2020, but Juno took the decision to push it back because there was so much changing regarding trans legislation that she wanted to make sure that it was as accurate and up to date and representative of the current situation as it could physically be. So I really admire her for taking that decision, and I'm glad that it's finally making its way onto shelves because I'm sure this is going to help a lot of young trans readers and a lot of young people who need to learn about trans people just because they've got trans folk around them. And also on the 18th we have The Jigsaw Man by Nadine Mathewson. On the 23rd of February we have A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth, which is another debut novel. This is one I've been highly anticipating since the cover was revealed because it's being heralded as like City of Bones meets The Cruel Prince, and I like both of those things enough individually to think that they would be amazing combined together. Hopefully it will live up to my expectations. We also have The Initial Insult by Mindy McGuinness, which is the first in a new series from Mindy. Some Other Now by Sarah Everett, which is being heralded as like This Is Us, but as a young adult novel, and is apparently already breaking hearts across the world. And The Desolation of Devil's Acre by Ransom Riggs, which is the 6th and final book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. And last but certainly not least, on the 25th of February we have Call Me Mummy by Tina Baker, which is another debut. And that is all of the books for for this month's birthday party. It felt at times like that was never going to end, but I'm glad I got through it. I am very, very sorry if I've pronounced any of the names wrong, because a lot of these names are ones that I've only seen them written down, and when I've tried to find pronunciation guides, there's been a couple of different pronunciations. So I'm really sorry if I have got anybody's name wrong, but I hope that all of these authors have an amazing release day celebration on their respective days. I hope that you have managed to find at least 1 or 2 books that you would like to pre-order and support this month, because there's such a great mix of everything. Like, there's some non-fiction in there's some thrillers, there's some literary fiction, there's some young adult, there's some middle grade, there's some sequels, there's some series starters. Like, seems like everything is going on at once in February, and I love it. And I have got more pre-ordered than I probably should be allowed to have, but I'm looking forward to them all arriving. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like it, and if you would like to subscribe, I'd be eternally grateful. We post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, so we will see you in a couple of days, and have a happy release to all of these authors and all of these books. Bye! Would help if I'd remember to load up the note before I started filming. We then have stop it, Alice.